Looky there. See her right there. What's the matter? Are you hungry? You want to eat some of my green beans? Hey guys, it's Daniel. I apologize. I haven't made a video for my garden in quite a while. I haven't done any kind of garden update, but this year has been just pathetic. I mean, I'm almost embarrassed. Weather hasn't been a problem, but I've got a deer problem. And it's just one deer. And I can't keep her out. I put 2 trail cameras up and she comes in here almost every stinking night. She even went in the greenhouse. I have to shut the doors every night just to keep her out. So inside the garden, everything looks terrible and I'm just sick of it. It's making me sick. So I do have a hot wire around my garden. I've had a hot wire around this garden for 5 years, I guess, and it's always worked really well. And this year, it's just one deer, one stinking deer. And I can't keep her out of everything, so I'll show you what everything looks like. Some of it's doing okay, but most of it, she's just killing me. So here we go. Okay, now, I promise my garden never looks like this. But I've been fighting this deer, and what's the purpose in keeping the grass out if she's just eating everything? So this was 3 rows of green beans, but as she's eating all the beans, it's allowed the grass to come up in the row where the drip irrigation was. I'm not fighting the grass if she's just going to eat all my green beans, but 3 rows of green beans, I got to pick 1 row one time, and then she just murdered them from there. My blackberries that I planted, oh, they were doing great. They were doing great. I mean, here's one perfect example. This runner, I mean, they're every bit of 5 foot tall, and she just picks all the leaves off of them. Over here, this really thick row of 2 rows of grass here was top pick purple hull peas. But like I said, she's eating all the peas out of there, so the grass is taking over. But I'll show you what it looks like without the grass. There's my peas. See the pea plants? Ain't a leaf left on them hardly. She has destroyed them. That was basically 2 double rows of peas. Should have been canning peas all summer long. She's just murdered them. That's Houston's row of watermelons you saw him plant earlier this year. It's got a little grass in it, but hey, that's one thing she hasn't got on yet. There's several pretty good sized watermelons in there. I'm kind of concerned that she'll bust them open soon. His cantaloupe, oh my gosh, they're so thick. There's cantaloupe everywhere. See all the blooms? See all the blooms? And these things are just loaded. These cantaloupe, I mean, look at that. Perfect. Those are, man, I don't even like cantaloupe, and those just look awesome. So, watermelon cantaloupe, doing pretty well.
There's cantaloupes right here.
Show me, pull the leaves back.
Right here. There's one and there's one.
You like those cantaloupe?
Mm-hmm.
As you go down the garden to the other side here, what are those stalks? Look at that. 2 rows of okra. I never would have dreamed a deer would eat okra leaves. Okra leaf is like eating sandpaper. But that's what they look like. They were beautiful up until 2 days ago, and then all of a sudden she decided to start eating the okra. And I don't know what I'm going to do. There's a video of my hot wire. So in the past years, I've only had these 3-wire hot wires. This one row of 3 wires. Done a great job keeping the goats out. The deer hadn't been a problem. And then I got to watching some stuff online, and everybody said add another one on the outside and they won't jump across that distance. Well, she does. She just jumps right over the top. No big deal to her. Squash and zucchini, oh my gosh, those plants are doing awesome. We're still just loaded down with squash and zucchini. Thankfully, she doesn't eat squash leaves. But here's what will make you sick. There's a row of tomatoes. And here's a row of tomatoes. Look at this. These tomatoes should have been 6-7 foot tall by now. These are celebrities, and they're less than 2 feet tall. But you can see what she does to them. She eats the tops out and just starts at the top and works her way down. Every night she picks off the new growth. So when these tomatoes try to send up a new sucker, once they get a couple inches tall, she just nips it off. Pitiful. There's a row of peppers. They're doing okay, but she's not eating those. They're just not producing a lot, but there's a few peppers on them. So the high tunnel, everything in it's doing really well, but I have to shut the doors every night, like I said, or she'll spend all night long in that high tunnel. And you talk about making a mess. This row of tomatoes right here, doing on a California weave, keeping them trimmed up pretty well. But those things are about, 7.5 foot tall, and they are beautiful and just loaded down with tomatoes. Look at these guys, huge clusters of tomatoes. These are Omar. I got about 6 or 8 Omar tomato plants in here, and then it turns into Better Boy down there. They're doing okay. This side, up against that wall, collard greens, Swiss chard, and kale. Kale's doing okay, but man, the bugs love it. The green worms are the devil. They just destroy it. My bok choy is about played out. I need to get it cleaned up and out of here. Beets, well, they were doing pretty good until the deer got them. She ate all the tops off of them, and they're trying to come back. Way on down, there's a couple squash plants, and they are gigantic. They love this high tunnel. And I've got some cherry tomatoes growing them up a string, and there is no possible way I can eat all these cherry tomatoes. They are thick. And then these tomatoes, this row was all celebrity, and they just haven't done really well. These down here on the ends are the original, maybe 4 or 5 that I planted when I first put the greenhouse in. Planted at the same time as those, and they're only about 4 foot tall, and they do have some tomatoes on them. But if you'll notice, there's only 4 big plants, and then it goes back into small. And I had to replant all these right here because they were just slowly dying off. These have made it, but I don't know what the difference is. They're just not, I just don't think the celebrity really likes this high tunnel environment. Eggplant, I've got, I don't know, whatever there, 10 or 12 eggplant plants. And those things are almost 4 feet tall. And I've yet to pick an eggplant. Not sure what's going on there. They bloom. There's lots of blooms. There's one starting to make an eggplant, I think. We'll see. Great looking plants, not producing any fruit. Then I come back in here and planted a few purple hull peas, and we love those things. We can them, and they are just awesome. So disappointing I lost them all on the outside of the tunnel in the garden, so we'll get some. And then this whole row here is Roma tomatoes, and they are loaded down with little bitty Roma tomatoes. They're thick. There's Romas everywhere. We've been picking quite a few. So we'll still get a lot of tomatoes, but my production got cut in half at least by the deer this year. She has, man, she has eaten a lot of stuff. So there's a little quick tour. Everything out here is just kind of pathetic. The only thing I'm really still gonna have, hopefully, cantaloupe, watermelon, peppers, squash. And man, I'm sure disappointed in all that okra. I don't know, it's not dead yet. Still has a chance if I can get her off of it. So hey guys, if you have any kind of tips at all, what can I do with this deer? Don't say shoot her, because there's a pretty woman that lives right inside that house that will not let me shoot this deer. She's got 2 little babies, and she's been around here a long time, so she will not let me shoot that deer. So What can I do short of building an 8-foot tall fence around my garden? Keep this deer out. Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks for watching.